There is a moment somewhere in your life when you looked into the mirror and saw more than just your reflection. You saw a silent question in your own eyes, a question that has no easy answer but pulses like an old wound. Why haven't I arrived where I wanted to be? Why do so many promises made in the quiet of midnight, so many plans drawn in pencil on paper, soaked with hope, vanish like ashes in the wind? And why, even with all the effort, does it feel like the world insists on keeping you exactly where it decided you should stay? The answer is not weakness. It never was. The answer lies in programming, or rather, the lack of it. You are not weak. You are unprogrammed for success. And that is not a condemnation. It is an invitation. A fierce call to rewrite the internal code that defines who you are, what you believe is possible, and how you allow yourself to exist in this vast and different universe. Success is not something that falls from the sky. It is built layer by layer inside you, long before any external achievement appears. And that construction begins with a single certainty. You were born with everything you need to win, but that everything is not money, influence, or luck. It is far more powerful. It is the human mind. It is the capacity to think, desire, imagine, create. It is the ability to shape the future through organized thought and persistent action. Napoleon Hill called this the law of success. Today, we call it a high-performance mindset. But the core remains the same. Whoever controls the mind controls reality. Your mind is the fertile ground where the seeds of destiny are planted. And for years, perhaps decades, it has been cultivated by external forces, by the culture of fear, by social pressure, by the weight of others' expectations. It has been bombarded by messages that say, that's impossible, you're not good enough, wait your turn, don't dare dream too big. And each one of those messages, repeated thousands of times, became an invisible virus within you. A virus that corrodes self-confidence, paralyzes action, and masks true human potential as if it were a genetic flaw. But the truth is different. You were not designed to fail. You were programmed to survive. And survival, in many cases, has become synonymous with conformity. Survival became routine, became waking up in the same place every day, doing the same job, paying the same bills, feeding the same fears. But you are not a creature of habit. You are an architect of possibility. And as long as there's breath in your body and thoughts in your mind, you have the right and the duty to redesign your very existence. The first step is not to change your circumstances. It is to change your consciousness. Because the outer world is only a reflection of what lives inside. If you desire wealth, you must first allow yourself to feel worthy. If you desire freedom, you must confront the invisible chains that keep you bound. If you desire peace, you must learn to dialogue with the internal conflicts that were never resolved. It all starts there inside, in the silence of the mind, in the stillness of the soul, in the conscious choice to take control of the narrative of your own life. Belief is the fuel of the human universe. It doesn't matter how many strategies you know or how many plans you wrote in forgotten notebooks. Without deep, absolute, unshakable belief, no action will have the strength to break through the natural resistance of progress. Belief is not cheap optimism. It is the inner knowing that you can, even when everything seems to say otherwise. It is the certainty that victory is coded into you, even if it has not yet been revealed to the world. And this belief does not appear by chance. It is trained, cultivated, exercised daily. Like a muscle, the more you use it, the stronger it becomes. And like a muscle, if neglected, it atrophies. So ask yourself, how many times today did you speak to yourself as if you truly believed in who you are? How many times did you treat yourself with respect, dignity, and purpose? Or did you let the voice of the past, the voice of others, the voice of fear dictate who you may become? Clarity is the next step. And clarity does not come from information. It comes from elimination, from focus, from the courage to say no to what no longer serves you. Clarity is knowing with absolute precision what you want and, more importantly, what you are willing to sacrifice to get it. Many want the result without paying the price. They want the title without the journey. Glory without sweat, transformation without pain. But success is not a straight line. It is an ascending spiral made of cycles of effort, learning, adjustment, and restart. And vision? Vision is the lighthouse in the middle of the storm. It is what you see even when no one else sees it. It is the mental image, so vivid, so real, that it makes you act as if it has already happened. Vision is not a distant dream. It is a map you carry within, updated with every decision, every intentional move. Without vision, you drift. With it, every step has direction. Every obstacle is simply an unplanned curve in the road. Then comes purpose, the engine that gives meaning to everything. Purpose is not what you do, it is why you do it. It is the greater reason that goes beyond personal gain, beyond recognition. It is what keeps you going when fatigue knocks on your door, when people doubt, when the world seems to conspire against you. Purpose is what connects your existence to something bigger than yourself. And when you discover yours, everything changes. Even pain gains meaning. But purpose alone does not move mountains. It needs discipline, routine, daily commitment to what matters. Discipline is the opposite of procrastination. It is the deliberate choice to do what must be done even when you don't feel like it. It is the art of mastering your present self to serve your future self. And here lies the great difference between those who live in mediocrity and those who walk toward greatness. The former follow impulses, the latter follow principles. And from discipline arises action, real action, not reactive action driven by stress and pressure, but creative action rooted in strategy, clarity, and purpose. Action that flows from within outward. That does not wait for perfect conditions because it knows they will never come. Action that understands failure is not the end, but part of the process. Action is the only real path to progress. And every small action accumulated, day after day, generates an irresistible force. Gratitude is the oil that lubricates this internal machine. Gratitude for the lessons of failure, for difficult moments, for unlikely teachers, for closed doors that protected you from wrong opportunities. Gratitude for the body that breathes, the heart that beats, the mind that creates. Gratitude for everything you already are while working to become more. Gratitude is not naivety. It is emotional intelligence. It is recognizing that even in chaos, there are hidden blessings. And when you cultivate gratitude, you open space for more good things to enter. Adaptability is the skill of dancing with change instead of trying to stop it, of seeing turbulence not as an enemy, but as an ally. Adaptation is what separates survivors from winners. Because the world does not adjust to you. You must adjust to the world and at the same time shape it with your choices. Adaptability is the art of being firm in your values and flexible in your strategies. It is understanding that your original plan can change as long as your purpose remains intact. Resilience is the beating heart of the journey. It is the ability to rise again even when the ground feels like it's collapsing beneath you. Resilience is not ignoring pain. It is facing it head on, learning from it, and moving forward. Resilience is knowing that the longest night always ends with dawn, and that even in the deepest shadows, there is light within you, waiting to shine. And then there is continuous learning. Because success is not a destination, it is a state of constant evolution. It is the relentless pursuit to improve, grow, expand. Learning is not just accumulating knowledge. It is questioning, experimenting, failing, reinventing. It is understanding that ignorance is not the absence of information, but the illusion that you already know everything. And as long as there is learning, there is room for growth. And as long as there is growth, there is room for greatness. All of this mindset, belief, clarity, vision, purpose, discipline, action, gratitude, adaptability, resilience, learning, all of this forms the new code. The code that replaces the old programming of limitation, fear, and conformity. And this code is not abstract. It is something you build word by word, choice by choice, day by day. You do not need a miracle to change your life. You need a decision, a deep, sincere, unshakable decision that you will no longer accept less than you deserve, that you will no longer tolerate the lie that success is the privilege of a few, that you will no longer let the past define your future. This decision is the turning point, the moment you take ownership of your story. And when you make that decision, something changes. Not immediately, not magically, but it changes. Your posture straightens, your voice gains firmness, your eyes glow with a new kind of fire. You begin to act differently, think differently, breathe differently. And over time, the world begins to respond. Doors start to open. People start to notice. And most importantly, you begin to notice yourself not as someone chasing success, but as someone living within it every day in every conscious choice. Because success is not a position. It is a way of being. It is the integration between who you are and who you decide to be. It is the harmony between thought, word, and action. It is the courage to be authentic, even when it scares you. It is the determination to move forward, even when the path seems impossible. So stop now, look inward, see who you are, see where you want to be, and understand that there is no distance between these 2 points. There is only the journey. And that journey begins with a step only you can take, a step that when taken with purpose, reverberates through your entire existence. You are not weak. You are unprogrammed for success. But the good news is that programs can be updated. Code can be rewritten. Stories can be retold. And you have the power to be the author of your next page. It is time to reprogram. It is time to remember who you are. It is time to awaken the sleeping giant within you. Because the world does not need another frustrated dreamer. It needs you whole, present, powerful, claiming the place that has always been yours.